Alright boys, welcome back to the channel. This time episode 31 of our Winnipeg Jets Franchise Mode. If you missed out on the last one, it was a very long one. I thought it was going to be short, which is why I kept saying it was short, but no. It was quite long, quite lengthy, and we had the most comments in channel history on that video. So there's a ton of stuff to go through. I'm not going to get through every single comment in this one, I don't think, because there's just so much, so I'm going to skim through most of the comments. You know, I do want to thank you guys just before we get started for all the support that you guys have been showing. You know, the ultimate goal of this channel is to get to 1,000 subs, but of course, little at a time, right? So we're almost at 150 right now, so if we could get over that, that would be very much appreciated. If you guys come out, you know, and you watch the videos anyway, you might as well sub, right? Hey, you might as well, but either way. The last one was crazy. We have a decision to make, a huge decision to make due to all the restricted free agents that are out here, and we want to make a play on some of them, right? There was a question last episode. Do we go for the 90 overall Alex Ranford, the center sniper that we desperately need for our second line to really boost us into Stanley Cup contention here? Amazing player, 40 goal scorer. Or do we go for Sam Kennedy, a right winger, but who can kind of play that center position? Again, another sniper. So again, a guy that would desperately help us out and fits the organizational needs. Now, we're going to get to that in this video here just in a couple of seconds. But before we do, we always start with the comments of every single video. So I'm going to start out here with Ryan, who I think it's his first time commenting, and he says, I don't think it makes much sense for us to trade Werenski. That was a comment in the last episode, in episode 29 from Fresh, where we were debating, do we trade Werenski? Do we bolster our top four somehow? And I think I agree with Fresh that we have to boost up our top four, but there's been a lot of deliberation on things like that. But I think we have to boost the top four, but I'm just not sure that it's with trading somebody like Werenski, because when I went through the entire league, there just wasn't quite the trade that I was looking for there. But I do think that we will be moving our top four in the positive direction here pretty soon. Ryan then says, I also think I would go with Kennedy because Buffalo aren't using him well, and I think that Ranford might be asking for a little bit too much money. And again, I definitely agree with that one. Ranford asking for 12 mil or so, Kennedy asking for, you know, for like 3 or 4 years, a little bit less, maybe like 7 mil, 7-ish mil. So that's something a little bit more interesting. Whereas Ranford is asking for like $9-10 million when we change his years around. Also, Ranford is their first line or second line center. He played 1855, maybe a second line center, but he's definitely good enough to play their first line in the playoffs. He played 20 minutes, maybe that's first line. He was a great playoff performer for them, so they wouldn't really want to trade him. Whereas Sam Kennedy only has played like 1339 is his career high in minutes, so he's playing third line time out in Buffalo. They've basically given up on him, it feels like, or maybe this year they were going to give him some more ice time, but I think Sam Kennedy is going to be the person that we go after. So thank you very much for those comments, Ryan. And then speaking of who we should go after, let's get to Alex's comments. He put a thesis statement in there, and I absolutely love it. So let me try to find out where this comment is that I'm looking for, and then I'll come back to you guys. All right, so Alex has an absolute book here of trade suggestions to go through, and I think most of them make sense. I'm still a little bit torn about a specific trade, but I'm going to start with the second trade that he proposes because I want to talk you guys through all of these one at a time. So, B or C prospects for Damon Severson at 50% retained plus Jacob Middleton. Essentially, we're giving away some of our younger pieces to take cap space away from Detroit, who has 8 NHL defensemen, so they don't need Severson and Middleton. We're taking both of them away and basically freeing up their cap space so that they can sign Alex Ranford. Let me just show you guys that in the proposed trade. So here's Detroit's current blue line. They have Seider, Edvinsson, Ferravari, Wallinder. Then they have Middleton, Brandstrom, Severson, and Mugli. So essentially we're saying we will take Middleton and Severson from you guys. You guys still have 6 defensemen with Mugli, Brandstrom, Wallinder, Ferravari, Edmondson, and Sider, right? That's still 6 defensemen there. You can sign another one in free agency, and we're freeing up 9. Well, we're going to retain some salary on Severson, so about $6.135 million on your blue line, which is going to allow you guys to pick up Ranford or to sign Ranford or maybe deal with Casper, Verbata, all these guys down here. So you have more cap space to move. We're helping them out, and in return, we're also going to give them some prospects. So I think this trade is something that we can definitely look into. That's the first trade. We would then flip Middleton, who would be making $3 million because we do not have the cap space to keep him. We'd flip him for some picks, some prospects, things like that, just to get some more picks in the pool. And then next, here is the big time trade here. So we were debating Detroit, we were debating Buffalo, but we're gonna go with Detroit because, or sorry, we're gonna go with Buffalo because Buffalo has less cap space and they're not using Sam Kennedy. So what are we going to give up for Sam Kennedy here? First off, we got to get him into the trade, and then also Alex says Sam Kennedy and Jonathan Marshall. So again, freeing up some cap space for them, for some of their players out here, hoping that they can help. Sign. Actually, do they have to sign anybody? No, they don't, huh? They have to sign Adam Juracek on the blue line, who's probably asking for quite a bit. So yeah, but the big reason we have to do this is because we're going to be giving them a huge player here, boys. Gabriel Velarde. He's been our second line center for the last 2-ish years, I think. Maybe 2 years? Yeah, like 2-3 years he's been a second line player. You know, he had 60 points this year, a career high. He's a great player. He's always a plus, guys. Well, plus 16, plus 30, plus 16, plus 15 down here, plus 17 in year number 1. So he's a great player. He's played on our first line before with Kyle Connor and Cole Perfetti. He's played great. He's had a lot of time in playoff games out here. I remember in 2028, no, it was 2026 and 2025. He was on our first line and he was doing great things. He was point per game in 2025 in the playoffs. He had 18 points in 26 games in our bout to the Stanley Cup. You know, this guy, he can do it all. He's a great power forward for our team, but it's time to say goodbye because we are going to be getting a huge player indeed. Now, going the other way, it has to be a huge deal. None of this second round picks, third round picks. No. We're giving them both Gale Crabbe, a medium elite 19-year-old, 72 years old defensive defenseman, right? So this guy is almost guaranteed to become an NHL player. How high he gets in the NHL, that's a completely different matter, but he's basically guaranteed to be at least an 80 overall Gale Crabbe. Next up, Brody DeMarchi, also 19, just 69 overall, 3 overall less than Gale Crabbe. Another defensive defenseman that they can have. So they take a chance. They basically guarantee themselves an NHL player with these 2 picks. Then also we're going to be giving away, I believe, Maurice Jacques, who is 20 years old. He's 64 overall. He was a 4th round pick in 2029, so just last year. A sniper, you know, he's an okay player. Maybe he could reach that 80 threshold, but we're not entirely sure. And then finally, we're gonna give them, I think it's got to be a 1st round pick, boys. So this is the trade that we are looking at for Sam Kennedy. Now, Sam Kennedy is going to be asking for some money, but look at this: 5-star shooter, 5-star defense, 5-star senses. Puck skills are a little bit low, but that's okay. Does he shoot that puck a lot? Yeah, quite a bit, but remember, he was playing 3rd line time, remember? So we also have to consider the fact that he's going to be getting way more time, like 6 or 7 minutes more time on ice per night. So it's a big trade. It's the biggest trade in our franchise history, I think. But I also think that it's more than worth it, boys. We're picking up Marchessault just for the cap space. We're picking up Kennedy for our second line center. We're giving away our second line center, 2 medium elite prospects, Maurice Jacques, and a 1st round pick. This is a massive deal. So, what do you say, Buffalo? I think they're going to be cheering through the streets, but I think this is more than fair. You know, obviously picking up a guy like Sam Kennedy, maybe we wouldn't have to give up a 1st because it's somebody that they want to move. But either way, we're going to be picking up some more draft picks with the Marchessault trade that we're going to be doing here in a second. So what do you say, Buffalo? Will this be the biggest trade in Winnipeg Jets franchise history? Yes, it is. This is an absolute no-brainer for us here in Buffalo. I'm going to accept this deal before you change your mind about it. Welcome to the team, Sam Kennedy, man. Oh my goodness. We'll take a look at what he wants as a contract here in a second. She would be in the system, right? Yeah, he'd be in the system. So we're not going to look at that just yet because now I need to make a trade for Jonathan Marchessault, essentially. So I'm here in the find trade screen for Marshall so we can get a third and a fourth basically from any team. Now I want to trade him to the East because I don't want to have to see him really. We can go to the Flyers, we can go to Pittsburgh, we can get Ryan Graves. We don't want him. Actually, Ryan Graves could be a great player, but either way, Toronto, also Washington. Okay, so let's see. Let me take a look at Philadelphia's roster. Hang on. Yeah, this doesn't have to be a big thing. Philadelphia has the cap space for it. They also could use a forward player. We can trade him over here for a third and a fourth round pick. I think that's more than fair. I don't think I'm fleecing them whatsoever, and have added. We believe this transaction will contribute to our success, so we are accepting your deal. So that frees us up quite a bit of money. But speaking of freeing up money, it is now time to get rid of, man, he's a Winnipeg Jets fan favorite. He is a I mean, he's not a fan favorite for some people in the comments, but this guy, he's paid his dues here at the very least. He had 3 point per game seasons when we were at the helm of the team, him playing first line center. He had a 30-goal season, 35-goal season. He had a 42-goal season in 2022-23. He's had 1,200 games in the blue sweater there. So even if you don't like him as a player, you think maybe he's a little bit dirty, maybe he's not quite the guy that can lead this team, you have to at least respect him for playing on this team for like 19 years, however long it's been. So almost, I don't know, this guy, he's done everything that he can with this roster, but it's time to move on from Mark Scheifele, boys. We could go to Pittsburgh. They have a lot of cap space. But Alexander, I believe, suggested Arizona, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, Arizona. Okay, so we'll trade him to Arizona. We'll appease Alex, and we'll see exactly what. Yeah, see, but Arizona, it bites into their cap space actually. So maybe I would actually prefer doing Pittsburgh. Because Arizona, excuse me, they still have to sign Backstrom. Do they have anybody else? Hang on, let's go all skaters. Yeah, they still have to sign Rieger. They have to sign Backstrom still. So maybe, yeah, no. I'm not sure if I love Arizona. I want to get somebody who's still below the line, like the Washington Capitals. Who else could it be? Washington. Pittsburgh would work. Let's do Pittsburgh. You know what? Let's send him over there to Crosby. All I want is a 7th-round pick. I don't think it's going to go through at all. But yeah, Crosby's obviously not on the team anymore. He's our associate GM, or sorry, our associate, what am I trying to say? Associate's coach. But either way, all I want is a 7th-round pick here, boys. If you could do that, that would be great. They're a seller, so they're going to be taking on Scheifele's contract, and in return, we will be giving them some rookie skaters here. Who should it be? Hatcher, maybe? But I need some skaters also for this other trade that I'm going to be doing. Wilkinson. How about Wilkinson? Will you take Wilkinson off my hands? He's an offensive defenseman. He's a prospect. He's 20 years old, 65 overall. Probably won't grow too much. Maybe Ackerman as well. Wilkinson and Ackerman. These guys were they both drafted in the same year? 2025? No. Okay, so Ackerman was drafted in 2025. A two-way defender. He's 74 overall, 23 years old. Maybe he'll grow to 78 or so, but he's not really growing that much in our system. And then Neil Wilkinson, very similar thing. He's an offensive defenseman. I kind of had a little bit of hopes for him, the Norwegian, but again, he's not really growing either. For just a 7th-round pick, actually, can I just do one of these guys? Let's just go Wilkinson to Pittsburgh for a 7th-round pick with Mark Scheifele. Scheifele, how long was he in the Winnipeg Jet colors? So for the better part of 17 years, he was playing for the Winnipeg Jets. He did have 19 years technically, but only like 4 games, 7 games in his first couple of seasons just to get acclimatized to the NHL. But for 17 full seasons, he's been in this league. His stats don't look great right now, but I mean, at the height of his career, he was a like 90 point scorer. Yeah, 89 point scorer. So he can definitely get it done. He can go over to Pittsburgh to help out some of their younger players. Do they have like really good players, really good young players anywhere? Not really, huh? They're pretty barren here, but he can help out Tangrady, show him the ropes a little bit, even though he's a defenseman. Yeah, they're kind of barren out here, though. This is basically just a resting place for Mark Scheifele, as we're gonna bring back a seventh, send them Wilkinson as well. And what do you say to it? They might not even accept this. What do you say? Pittsburgh rejected. Yeah, you aren't really need to be in value offered. So we'll also trade you our seventh, I suppose. Just a swap of sevenths. We'll give you Dallas a seventh for a seventh, Mark Scheifele and Wilkinson. Now, what do you say? They accept that. I almost feel guilty saying yes to this deal. Don't worry, Mark Scheifele. Thank you very much. We'll be checking up on you throughout the season, as we will with Gabriel Vilardi over here in Detroit. But the trades are still not done, boys. And sorry, Gabriel Vilardi is in Buffalo, of course, not Detroit. But speaking of Detroit, we do now need to go ahead and help them out with their salary cap so that they can sign Ranford, Jacob Middleton, and Damon Severson, both coming to Winnipeg. This is a crazy, crazy day so far here, boys. The GM, we've been in the booth all day with each other, thinking about moves, trying to make crazy stuff happen with the other GMs. We've been calling everybody, seeing what's available, seeing what's not, and we've been pulling all-nighters over here in the AGM booth. So I think it's going to be Eric Dowd and Alex Hatcher. Eric Dowd is a low elite player. I mean, they're both low elite players. Eric Dowd, right winger. He's 21 though at 68. He could grow, definitely, but a two-way forward again. Probably a low 80s, maybe high 70s type of a player. He has no X factors either, so I don't feel too bad giving up on Eric Dowd. Alex Hatcher's a bit harder to give up on just because he's a right defenseman. He's a two-way defender, but again, 20 years old, 63 overall. It's not that high for his overall. I was much more disappointed with giving up Gale Crabbe and Brody DeMarchi, who are both medium elite players in like the low 70s, high 60s at 19 years old. So this is not the craziest deal ever, but we do have to give them some more. All right, we're also going to give them Vyacheslav Yaskin here, low elite 48 overall playmaker that we just drafted in the 6th round like 8 days ago or something like that in this universe. So Yaskin, we didn't know you for too long, buddy, but have fun over here in Detroit. For Middleton and Severson, can I also get a pick back? I would definitely like to, and I need to get them to retain some salary. I just like, a depth pick, maybe a depth pick for this year, a 7th round pick for this year, because we gave away a 7th. How many picks do I have this year? Hang on. So I have 4 picks this year. Yeah, so another pick might be nice. And then I'll also get you guys to retain 50% of Damon Severson's contract here. I mean, with that Scheifele money freed up, we're definitely in a better place salary cap wise. So what do you say to this? Will you do this? 3 low elite prospects going over to Detroit for Jacob Middleton and Damon Severson and a 7th. What do you say? They reject that. We're not willing to accept this deal. It looks fair, but the Detroit Wings are not willing to retain the salary you suggested. So that thought this might be a problem here. So Severson and Middleton without the 7th. What do you say to this now? Okay, hang on. How do I get them to accept this deal? Because they don't want to retain salary on Damon Severson. I kind of need them to, though. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 picks next year because of the 2 Philadelphia Flyers picks that we moved for Jonathan Marshall. So maybe we give them a 4th next. Actually, let's give them a 5th next year. And what do you say to this? A 5th for Severson and Middleton. You need to retain some salary. We're still freeing up $9 million. No, $6 million of salary cap for you guys. It's more than enough, I think. What do you say? Detroit rejected. Oh my goodness. Okay, can I get them to retain slightly less then? And if not, then maybe I just pick somebody up in free agency for Damon Severson. And I say, you know what, you guys didn't want to retain salary for me, then I suppose you're on your own with the salary cap, because I'm helping you guys out a great deal. So now I'm letting you guys retain, what is this, like $7 million of cap. What do you say to it now? Rejected. We don't want to retain the salary cap. Oh my goodness. Okay, what about now? I'm still getting to retain some, but we're into the area now. We're $4 million for an 81 overall. I think I could probably get that in free agency. In fact, maybe I should take a look because I don't like this deal very much anymore. What do you say to it? They're rejecting. Okay, you know what? We're going to keep our elite prospects then, and I'm going to go pick somebody up in free agency because I am not willing to make that kind of a commitment to Damon Severson, who might regress anyways. Let me go see if there's any right defensemen that can play third pairing that are worth less than $4 million here. Yeah, like Ilya Lyubushkin could, although he's kind of old, he might regress as well. Sean Walker here could play. Sean Walker's 1 overall less, but I mean, I gave them a 5th and 3 low elite players for Damon Severson, and pretty much that's it. So, I mean, Damon Severson and the Jacob Middleton. So, getting a guy like Sean Walker on a 1-year deal at $2.5 million, that's going to give us more than enough cap flexibility. Sean Walker can play as long as he doesn't regress. That's the only thing I'm really worried about. So maybe we go with a two-way defender then. Only 80 overall, but we get him for, let's do 1 year, 3.5 mil. I don't know. Dylan Coughlin is here as well. Coughlin. I don't know how to say his name exactly, but yeah, there's a lot of guys that we can pick up here. We can even go back to JBD. Again, as long as they're making under 4 mil, right? It's a good deal because of the fact that they weren't willing to retain salary. So we could go with Sean Walker. We could go with, how do I say this name? Topi Nimela? Topi Nimela? I don't know, but he's offensive. I'd like a two-way defender, so let's go with Rugula. He wants 2 years. I'll give him 1 year, but nobody's interested. If not, we can go Sean Walker 1 year. So why don't I sign both of these guys to 1-year deals? I don't know. Okay. It's weird though. Let's go 1 year, 3 mil for Regula. Is that how you say his name? Regula? Okay, I changed my mind, boys. We're gonna go Sean Walker here for 1 year, $2.5 million. He's 35. He's not as old as Damon Severson. He's 1 overall less, but he's also asking. We're gonna get him for at least $600K less, but again, they didn't want to retain salary, so he could be as low as $3 million less than we would get Damon Severson for. So I like that instead of picking up those defensemen again. Apologies with that trade that I teased you guys with there. We could not get the trade that Alex suggested through, but we did pretty much everything else that Alex suggested, so I think it's fair enough, you know. And now here it is. Time for another big trade. Okay, boys, so on your screen, we are seeing the trade that Alexander basically suggested here. So he says Liam Karlsson plus a 2nd or 3rd round pick to LA for Will Hoffman. He also, in this comment, he says, yeah, or in another comment, he says, maybe you can go Corbin Mills with Seattle, and I prefer Corbin Mills, to be honest. I think Corbin Mills, he is slightly younger than Will Hoffman. He's also asking for less money. He's the same type of a player. They're both right-handed defensemen. Corbin Mills is at like 1 overall less, but he's like 1 year younger or something like that, and he's asking for less money, right? So I think Corbin Mills is the way that we're going to be going. And here is Alex's rationale. So Liam Karlsson, he regressed at 19 years old. He went to 82 halfway through the season, and now he has dropped back down to 80. But he will obviously jump back up with his overall because he's young and his potential is very, very high. Alex does not believe that he will grow to 87 plus overall. And that's really, if everything goes well, he might reach 87. So we could maybe even see his growth stunted like we saw with Lucius or Lambert. Essentially, Karlsson needs a perfect path to become that top player. And, you know, for this trade, Corbin Mills, or in this case, Hoffman, is a two-way, how big is Corbin Mills? He's 6'5", he's a two-way forward, he's 21, he's an 85 overall defenseman. He was drafted 2nd overall in 2027, and we are trading for the 5th overall, or we're trading our 5th overall selection in 2029 out here. So high draft picks moving. Now, Corbin Mills, he is not exactly busted out onto the scene as a crazy point scorer. He has 29 points last year, career high for sure, but he's only had 29 points in 1 season. That's not exactly a crazy stat. On the other side of things, Liam Karlsson has only had his rookie year, so Karlsson definitely has the potential to I think, in my opinion, Karlsson has the potential to jump out there and really go crazy because he's an offensive defenseman. I think offensive defensemen put up way more points than two-way defensemen, but again, it's not only about the points. Karlsson was also a +9, whereas Corbin Mills was a -16. But again, Corbin Mills was probably on a little bit of a worse team than Liam Karlsson. So either way, Corbin Mills, they are looking to trade him because he's an RFA. So that makes sense why they want to give him up. He's also on a roster. How much defense do they have over here? Yeah, he's one spot behind Dursey. I mean, they don't have much defense, and Liam Karlsson is a guy who can really take over that first line role for instead of Shea Theodore. Basically, as soon as next year, Theodore is older. He's making a ton of money, but only for one more season. Maybe they let Liam Karlsson play behind him this year, and then next year they throw him up to that first line. So it makes sense why they want him. We want Corbin Mills because he's a better player right now, at least, and he has the potential to still grow to like an 87 plus if things go right. He's a right defenseman as well, so he can play on that first line. He can also play on the second line. He can play really anywhere throughout our lineup, and he's not an offensive defenseman, so hopefully he won't be too much of a liability defensively despite his -16 last season. I'm not going to lie, boys, this is a very, very risky trade in my opinion, but the AGMs have spoken. You guys wanted it, so I think we've got to do it here. Corbin Mills for Liam Karlsson. Should I do it straight up? Now, I would want to do this deal straight up because I think Karlsson's going to be the better player. Now, Alex said we give them a third, we give them a second, something like that, and basically that's going to make it a fair deal. I don't know if I really want to do that, though. I think I'm just going to ask for it straight up. Both teams are interested in the deal. They want Karlsson. We want Mills. Let's just make it a straight-up hockey deal. Karlsson, he's still on his entry-level deal for another 2 years before they have to sign him. They will have a bunch of money by then, I think. Let me just see. So obviously, 13 mil will be off the books. 7 mil will be off the books here. He'll also be a little bit older. Maybe he won't be asking for so much. They'll still have this 5 mil, this 4 mil. But again, they're freeing up $19 million in their first two defensemen. And then over here, they have great contracts already for these guys. They'll need to make an offer for Roger McQueen. Same thing with Ryder Ritchie. So that's going to be... yeah, they'll probably be in maybe a little bit of a rough place. Also, Otteries, they'll need to make a play for, but Beniers' money will be off the books. He won't be asking for $8 million. Shane Wright's on a good deal. It's tough. They can trade away Jared McCann probably. Yeah, they could make it work, I think. So what do you say straight up? Liam Karlsson for Corbin Mills. Again, not sure how I feel about this, but Seattle, what do you say? So we're going to have to be checking up on Seattle. We're going to have to be checking up on Buffalo. Those are the two major ones. And then maybe we can go to Pittsburgh and see about Mark Scheifele. So what do you say here, Seattle? Straight up, Liam Karlsson for Corbin Mills. Liam Karlsson, I'm sorry to let you go, but the AGMs have spoken. There's not too much to deliberate on this deal. I think Seattle fans will think we came out ahead here. Don't tell me I fleeced them with that one. That's a straight-up hockey deal, and I think Karlsson's upside is a little bit more. So I don't think that I could be accused of fleecing them. Now we have some RFAs to sign. Both Sam Kennedy and Corbin Mills. We have to sign them both on this team. So what do you want, Sam Kennedy? 5 by 8.5. So we can get him for... 5 by 8.5, we can also go 3 years, keep him as an RFA for $7 million. Okay, hang on 1 second. We can also go to an 8-year deal, keep him until he's 30 years old. We can drop him down to, how much can we drop him down to? I'm going to go 8 years, $7 million, a $56 million deal. I mean, a $56 million deal for a 30-point score, or sorry, what is he? He's a 50-point scorer, a $56 million deal for somebody who scored 56 points, or sorry, 50 points basically as a career high. I mean, that's pretty insane. He's a third liner in his career. We're going to be giving him second line ice time. We promised him second line ice time. He wants security. He's going to be a cornerstone of this franchise for $7 million for 8 years. Let's see what he says to it. I can always go a little bit higher. I'm willing to go up basically to 7.5 mil. But what do you say, Sam Kennedy, to that? 8 years, $7 million. And then over here, Corbin Mills for 8 years only wants $6.2 million. So that's a huge discount he's willing to take. So for 8 years, we could drop him down to 5.5, but that sounds a little bit crazy. Let's go 8 years. I think 8 years, 6 million is more than fair for Corbin Mills. 8 years, maybe a little bit less. 8 years, 5.85 mil for Corbin Mills. We can drop him down to 5.3, but at 85%, but I think that's a little bit insane. So what do you say? Corbin Mills and Sam Kennedy both to come onto this team. That would make our top six be Kyle Connor, Cole Perfetti, Melvin Barker, Nikolai Ehlers, Sam Kennedy, Mats Svensson, third line of Philip Tomasino, Elliot Patrick, Shane Pinto, and then a fourth line of Dylan Holloway. I'll have to go out and sign some fourth line players here. Okay, but before I sign those fourth liners, let me just advance a couple of days here just because I want to make sure that I want to see exactly how much cap space I'm working with here. So if some people go, to other teams, they go. I don't really think it's a huge deal. I was extremely happy. So Sean Walker, we've got on board. Kyle Schauber was most generous. It's easy to make out my offer about your deal. Thank you very much. Sean Walker is on the roster. Next up, we have the RFAs. Sam Kennedy rejects. You've not come to the table with enough cash. Okay, fair enough. But Corbin Mills is on board. All right. So we just have to look at Sam Kennedy now. And now is the time where I should probably start looking at free agents as well. All right, so Sam Kennedy, I'm going to go 8 years, $7.3 million. For 5 years, his demand has come down. I believe it was at 8.5 mil. So, but for 8 years, I'm still going to ask 8 years, 7.3 mil. I don't really want to play with this too much because after a couple of times he says no, he might just ask for 8 years, $14 million or something crazy like that. So 8 years, 7.3. I think it's fair, especially with inflation and all that stuff going up here in the NHL world. So what do you say to it? Sam Kennedy. I'm also going to take a quick look at some free agents because I don't want everybody to be snagged up. Also, Ranford is still here on RFA, so they haven't been able to sign him just yet. And there are a bunch of fourth-line centers that I'm looking at here. We could go with a Scott Lawton, but again, he's pretty old, but he's an amazing defender, obviously. We could go with a guy like Wyatt Johnston here. Not a fantastic center, 77 faceoffs, but good skater, good player. I mean, this Wyatt Johnston is not the same as the real world Wyatt Johnston, right? But that's pretty enticing to me. We could go with an Owen Beck. Interesting stuff out here. We could go with Mason Shaw. You know what, guys? I want to sign Wyatt Johnston here. He has great offensive awareness. He has great defensive awareness. He can play the penalty kill. He can be a centerman. He has decent stick checking. Shot blocking is a bit low, but he also can skate, right? So I think I want Wyatt Johnston on this roster. He's not the same Wyatt Johnston in the real world, but I don't want to pay too much. I'm just going to go 2 years, 2.8 mil. And then the next pick, we're going to bring back a power forward here who we let go at the re-sign phase. It's going to be Alexei Protas for 1 year at $1.9 million. And then we should still have enough to sign Sam Kennedy. So let's see what they have to say about that, and I'll get back to you guys here when we see Sam Kennedy's offer in a couple of days here. So what do we say to it? Wyatt Johnston's on board, as is Alexei Protas. Okay, now Sam Kennedy. This is the day for Sam Kennedy. 7.3 for 8 years. What do you say, big boy? Reject your offer. You haven't come to the table. Okay, so because I'm changing the years, he wants more money, huh? Okay, his demand for 8 years has actually dropped, so I'm going to offer him a little bit more. We're going to go 8 years, $3.75 million because his demand has come down just a little bit. So what do you say to it now, Sam Kennedy? Holy cow, this guy, we don't know each other very well right now. We're still developing a relationship, and the first thing you do is try to sign a contract with him for 8 years. It's not exactly an easy thing to persuade somebody to do, right? So I definitely understand his hesitancy to sign this deal, but I respect the heck out of Corbin Mills for taking the first offer that we gave him. Matthias Ackerman signs his RFA deal. What do you say now, Sam Kennedy? Reject your offer. Oh my gosh, Sam Kennedy is holding out here for us in I guess it's free agency. All right, so again, his 8-year demand has dropped just a little bit here. So we're gonna go 8 years. We're going to try the same deal, 8 years, 7.375. His demand is slowly coming down. So what do you say to it, Sam Kennedy? I mean, the other thing is if somebody signs him to a 5-year deal, his 5-year deal is like 7 mil. We can definitely easily match that. So it's not the end of the world if somebody tries to take him from us. We can just match whatever they give him because we have the money for it. Sam Kennedy, what do you say? This is the day, right? Reject your offer. Oh my gosh, we are playing hardball right now with Sam Kennedy because he does not. He feels disrespected with his time in Buffalo. He says, if you're gonna give me 8 years, you better pay me big bucks. And I'm saying I'm giving you $56 million. What the heck are you talking about, buddy? Look at this. 7 years or 8 years, $7.9 million. Okay, I'll go up to 7.425. Actually, no, I'll go up to 7.45. 8 years, 7.45. You're asking for 7.9 for 8 years. Sam Kennedy, come on now, man. I want to lock this guy in long term. If not, then I'll give him a bridge deal at like 3 years just to keep him as an RFA if we can't get him for an 8-year deal. But I'm not going above $7.5 million for 8 years, I don't think. I don't want to. I think that's a totally fair contract. Here we go. For somebody who hasn't proved himself at all. I mean, we're giving him $56 million. He's never proved himself once in this league. Oh, and he rejects the offer once again. Sam Kennedy, don't get on my bad side, big boy. Yeah, look at this. See, now he doesn't want the 8-year deal. Now for 8 years, he's asking for 8.4. So, man. Okay, I guess we'll go 3 years with him. I don't know. He didn't. Why didn't he want that 8-year deal? Now he wants 8.4 for the next 8 years. So I got to be careful here. I guess we'll go 3 years. 3 years, 6.425. I mean, that's no problem. I'll give him exactly what he wants for 3 years. 6.425. I think it's totally fair for our, let's see, the rest of our forwards. Yeah, I mean, we have the money for it. It just sucks that I couldn't get him on for 8 years, but I didn't want to budge from where I was. We were playing hardball, and so he's like, fine, then I'll just take a 1-year deal. I'll give him what he wants. 3 years, 6.425. There you go, Sam Kennedy. You won this day in free agency, but it keeps him as an RFA. We still have more than enough money. We'll still be able to re-sign him in a couple of years. Don't worry about that, boys. We have great contracts on this team. We have guys like Nikolai Ehlers who might be retired by then, maybe off the roster. You know, we have all of our big contracts are not really going to be we don't really have many big contracts left that we have to sign. So I'm not worried about re-signing Sam Kennedy pretty much at all. I was extremely happy to accept your offer. Your cap offer was most generous. Yeah. All right. So Sam Kennedy's on the roster. And don't worry, boys, this one's not ending yet. We still have about half of the season to do. So, holy cow, Ranford is still here in free agency as well. And we have $3 million to spend, which I need to get a depth forward for, I think. All right, guys, we're in free agency here. I'm going to sign Andrew Kopp or I'm going to try to anyways. There's like 4 teams interested in him. I'm going to try to sign him to a max 2-way deal just because he's a great defender, great forward defender, right, Selke type player for our fourth line, also for depth and things like that. There's also some other guys down here. Wade Stanton, a playmaker with great defense. He also has some potential to grow. He has 89 offensive awareness, 91 passing. Yeah, this guy looks interesting as well. I'll sign him to the team. We'll give him a 950K. Okay. All right, boys, so I send out a bunch of contracts to some AHL players, to some depth players, guys like that. Andrew Kopp is on board. Thank you very much, Andrew. These guys are all depth-type players, some with potential, some not really. I went out and I searched for the best shooters as well and the best, like, puck skill players who are, like, low overall, so I signed some of these guys have, like, 5-star shooting. Okay, Nicholas Carlson didn't come to us. He went to the Toronto Maple Leafs, but still, I think that's good enough. All right, boys, so enough of this. We've made the big trades. We've signed on the people that we need to sign on, and now it is time to... Oh, my goodness. Okay, these guys don't want to sign on to the team. That's fine. It's all good. But now it's time to get to the preseason and the regular season, and I'll see you guys there. All right, boys, and here is what we are looking like for the Year 8 season. We've got the first line of Kyle Connor, Cole Perfetti, and Melvin Barker. These guys tore it up last year. I'm expecting the same thing this year. We have the new second line of Nikolai Ehlers, Sam Kennedy, and Mats Svensson. The second line, Svensson cannot play center. I thought he could for a little bit, but his faceoff's only 62. That is not good enough to play center. He's great offensive awareness, obviously, but Sam Kennedy will be our second line center at 78 overall overall on the faceoffs. It's a little bit risky, but he's the only one that can play it, so he's going to be down there. Third line now, Elliot Patrick has jumped up to an 83 overall. Shane Pinto at 82 and Philip Tomasino at an 85. He was a trade deadline acquisition last year, who we've decided to keep on the roster. And then the fourth line looks pretty similar. Alexei Protas has been here before. The new acquisition of Wyatt Johnson, and then Dylan Holloway on the left. So big fourth line. These guys can throw the body. They can do their thing. Third line that can actually score some goals here with Tomasino and Patrick, and then hopefully the top six tears it up. Kennedy does not like the second line very much. He loves the third line, and he likes the first and the third line a lot, but he doesn't love the second line. But still, with a +1, it's not the end of the world here. Nikolai Ehlers is also back up to an 87 overall. He'll be dropping throughout the season, but we'll take that for sure. Defensively, this is what we're going to start the year like, okay? We're going to go Morrissey with Corbin Mills. I'm putting Morrissey up here. He's 35, but he's 91. He jumped up to a 91 overall playing with Liam Karlsson last year, so we're going to look at that. Second line is Zach Werenski and Joel Shepherd. Again, I'm going to be making line changes throughout. We're going to see how it goes. Fourth or third line, Sean Walker down to a 79 overall, but still 79 is, I mean, his stats basically look all the same. He can still skate. He still has decent defensive awareness, shot blocking, stick checking, all that stuff. He's still fine. And then Aiden Stempniak, 6'3", where he's going to get the rookie season. We're going to see what he can do in his rookie season here. This is what his stats look like. He's a 79 overall to start off. We will see how far he goes. Keep in mind, I can play Werenski on that top line. Gives it a +2 instead of a +3. I can also go ahead and throw Joel Shepherd up there for the +4. I can put up Zach Werenski, so we can just move these two lines down to get a +5, +2, +1 combo. But we're going to stick with the double +3 and then a +1 on that third line. On goal now, Jesper Wallstedt, 86 overall still. He's going to be our main goaltender. And then 78 overall, Connor Hellebuyck. Last year of his $8.5 million deal, this guy is a legend for us. He still has that 90 poise, so he might simulate well still. And I'll do the power plays all in just a second. I haven't touched those quite yet. Okay, boys, so this is what the power play is going to look like. We're going to have Cole Perfetti, Svensson, Kyle Connor with Josh Morrissey and Sam Kennedy on the blue line here. And basically, I'm going to be running two power plays pretty much evenly, or that's my vision for it anyway. The distributor is going to be Josh Morrissey. Sam Kennedy is going to be the finisher. We're going to see if we can get him going, get him some growth, and then Kyle Connor will bring the puck in. I think this should be a pretty good. They all have good offensive awareness. Second line power play now, we're going to go Tomasino, we're going to go Nikolai Ehlers, Elliot Patrick, Melvin Barker, and Zach Werenski. So Melvin Barker is going to be the finisher here. I would have loved to be able to make the distributor Zach Werenski. Oh, never mind, it lets me. Before, it said that the roles were duplicated, even though Zach Werenski and Melvin Barker are not the same person. It said that for some reason. Looking at the penalty kill now, the first line penalty kill is going to be Shane Pinto, Wyatt Johnson. I've put Corbin Mills in here just to get him a little bit more ice time with Joel Shepherd. The second unit will be Dylan Holloway with Melvin Barker. We're going to try Melvin Barker. He's got 4-star defense, which is good enough. 88 defensive awareness, 87 stick checking, 83 shot blocking. That's pretty good. So he's going to go in there and play penalty kill forward now. But again, I can change all this stuff for the penalty kill falters. And then the third line is going to be Cole Perfetti with his like 5-star defense, or 4.5-star defense. And then Alexei Protas, Aiden Stempniak, and Sean Walker down there. 3-man penalty kill is going to look like this. Just running through these lines real quick. If you see anything egregious, you can definitely call out for some changes over here. And then extra lines, we've got Cole Perfetti, Kyle Connor, Josh Morrissey, Joel Shepherd on the D. Then the second line, Ehlers, Kennedy, Werenski, and Corbin Mills. The third line of Barker, Svensson. So we're going with the young kids. And then Stempniak and Walker. Barker can actually play the center a little bit here with 75 faceoffs. So that's why he's in there instead of somebody like Philip Tomasino or Shane Pinto or somebody like that. I want to get these young guys a little bit more time here. 3-on-3 is going to look pretty similar. I actually do want to change around. Joel Shepherd is not going to be playing first line time. He won't even be playing second line time either. That'll be Zach Werenski. And this is what it'll look like. Again, I could go younger and put Corbin Mills in here instead of a guy like Zach Werenski or something like that. That's what extra lines look like. We have Sam Kennedy and Kyle Connor. And then for the shootout, I've gone with all the 5-star shooters. So Sam Kennedy will start. Then it'll be Melvin Barker. Then it will be Elliot Patrick here. And then Cole Perfetti and Kyle Connor. So all of our snipers out there in the shootout. Looking at captaincy, because we did obviously with the removal of Mark Scheifele, we do have new alternate captains. So Josh Morrissey remains our captain. Our alternate remains Kyle Connor, but then our secondary alternate, I've given it to Nikolai Ehlers. He spent his entire career here in Winnipeg. So Ehlers gets the honor of being the assistant captain. Now I have to do the scouting, and then we can finally get started on the regular season. All right, boys. So after the preseason, we are 5-2-0 coming out of preseason. I'll just show you guys the stats real quick. You already saw the lines and everything, so I didn't change anything up quite yet, but look at this. The first line, 9 points for Kyle Connor, 7 goals in 7 games. Cole Perfetti had 9 points as well. Melvin Barker, 3 and 4 for 7 points. What about the second line? 5 points for Ehlers. Sam Kennedy only with 2 assists. Okay, a little bit concerning. Matt Svensson with a goal and 3 assists. All right. Elliot Patrick had 5 points, as did Shane Pinto, and Philip Tomasino with 3 points. Fair enough. Dylan Holloway, 1 point. Wyatt Johnston, 3 points. And Alexei Protas with 4 points. So we're getting some depth scoring. I'm definitely going to be keeping my eyes on that second line. What about defense here? 7 points for Josh Morrissey. Nothing for Corbin Mills, but he's a +3. Okay. Zach Werenski with 3 points, and Joel Shepard even with 3 assists. Wow. And then Aiden Stempniak with 3 assists as well. Okay, so I'm liking what I'm seeing out of this defensive core here. Goaltending wise, yikes, rough numbers from Jesper Wallstedt. Great numbers from Connor Hellebuyck though. So again, gonna be keeping my eyes on all this stuff going throughout the season. Speaking of going throughout the season, should I be checking lines of other teams? And I think I will actually. Real quick, let's just check the teams that we traded players to. So first up, I'm going to go check the Buffalo Sabres. So over here in Buffalo, they are quite a stacked team. I mean, they've got Gabriel Velarde's out here on their third line, our dear beloved friend Gabriel Velarde. I mean, their offense looks great. Their defense looks okay. They've got Roman Josi here, Owen Power, all these guys down here, and then goaltending, Devin Levi. So Buffalo looks pretty dang good. We'll see what Gabriel Velarde can do on that third line. Now here are the Seattle Kraken, who've got a great offensive core. Their second line looks great as well, 89 overall. Roger McQueen, and third line looks okay. Shane Wright definitely boosts that up, and then fourth line looks great over there. Defensively, Liam Karlsson is up to an 81. Another reason I wanted to keep Liam Karlsson that I forgot is he has X factors, right? Corbin Mills doesn't have any X factors. Liam Karlsson does, and that helps out his chemistry a lot. But he's going to be playing first line ahead of Shea Theodore. Wow, so they're really trying to prioritize Liam Karlsson's growth. It's something that I wanted to do with Joel Shepard on the first line, but we will see how that pans out for them. Goaltending, Andrei Vasilevsky is their goalie. Wow, okay, so that's crazy, and he's on a great contract for the next 2 years, so Seattle looks pretty good. And then over here in Dallas, Dallas is always a great team, but they've got Chaz Lucius, the 83 overall sniper, who we adored. We wanted him to pan out so well as our second line center, but he really stagnated at like 84, 85 overall. What did he do with them last season? I think I looked at it, but I forgot. Last year, he had 41 points in 82 games. Yeah, it's an okay season, but it's definitely a drop back from where he was with us. And look at this, the defending Stanley Cup champions here. They signed Alex Ranford to a $5.4 million. You thought I was going to cheese with my $9 million offer for Alex Ranford. They signed the Dane to a $5.4 million deal for 1 year as their first line center. Oh my goodness, if he can't get over points per game this year, there's something wrong. He's with Alex DeBrincat. He's also with Dylan Larkin. Their second line looks great with Lucas Raymond and Marco Kasper. Third line, a little bit weak, and fourth line is pretty weak as well. But defensively, Edvinson, Sider. Yeah, it's because we didn't free up any of their cap space because they didn't want to retain salary. So I said, okay, screw you. You know, you don't want to retain salary on anything when I'm giving you a crazy deal. Fair enough. But it means I'm not going to help you out. So they signed Alex Ranford for $5.4 million, which is absolutely insane. The best contract in the league, it must be. So let's see what they can do. All right, boys, so I think that's pretty good. That's a good way to start us off. Now we'll start the season off here in Carolina. Let's hope that Jesper Wallstedt can play a little bit better than he did in the preseason here. First period of the first game. Oh my gosh, what a way to start. Melvin Barker scores on the power play. Kyle Connor scores even strength, and so does Alexei Protas. Great job, boys. We're getting to Kochetkov early. Second period now, and that's a 5-2 lead. Barker gets his second of the game. Shane Pinto scores, but Emil Bemstrom and and Mikey Anderson get 2 of their own. We have a 3-goal lead going into the third period. Obviously, the first game of the regular season, everybody comes out with a little bit more juice, a little bit more fire in them, getting the season started up here. So let's try to play this game. There's Sam Kennedy gets his first goal as a Winnipeg Jet. But let's hope we can see some simulation like this when we get to the playoffs as well, because this is a great simulation for 6 goals, only 3 against, but on 25 shots. It's not a great save percentage, but I'm not going to be complaining about it. 2 goals, 1 assist for Barker, 1 goal, 2 assists for Connor, 2 points for Mikey Anderson. Those are your 3 stars of the night, and it's a great home opener from us. But Melvin Barker's injured until October 24th. Oh no, so we have to edit these lines manually and get some help in there. So, because Melvin Barker's injured, do we get Sam Kennedy up there, or do we go with, let's go with Svensson. I think that makes more sense. And who is going to be coming in here? I guess it's going to be Andrew Copp. So we could go Elliot Patrick up to the second line. Yeah, this is what we're going to do. Elliot Patrick up to the second line. Wyatt Johnston to the third. Or do we go with Andrew Copp on the third line? Hang on, let me just check. Okay, we're going to do this. Andrew Kopp's going to slot in on the fourth line. Dylan Holloway is going to move up to the third line. Elliot Patrick will move up to the second, and Matt Svensson up to the first. I think that makes the most sense. All right, so a great first game, but Melvin Barker, who scored 3 points for us in it, got injured. So that's a tough injury to take. But let's simulate here a couple of games at a time, 2 or 3 games at a time as always. There's a 5-3 loss to Buffalo, followed by a 6-4 loss to Nashville. All right, so we're scoring, but we're allowing a lot of goals as well. Let's go one more game here. Let's try to get a win. Josh Morrissey just got a little bit injured. That's a 5-2 loss. Okay, not a great start whatsoever. We're 1-2. Let me change the lines. But I'll tell you what, it's not this first line's fault. Kyle Connor has 8 points in 4 games. Cole Perfetti has 5, and Matt Svensson, he's a -3, but that could have, I don't know, -3. But the rest of his line mates are positive. Oh, the second line's getting torched. Oh my god, the second line is getting smoked. Okay, so wow, let's go Tomasino then on the second line. This third line was doing decent, and the fourth line, they're doing okay as well. Defensively, what do we have? -3, -5 for Corbin Mills, -1. Okay, let's change it up. We're gonna go Zach Werenski up to the top. We'll stay with Corbin Mills there for now. What about the third line? Stempniak's a -3. Sean Walker's a +2. We'll keep it like this for now, I suppose. Goaltending. What are we doing back here, boys? Yikes! Oh my god, I can't get goaltending to save my life. 7.73 goals against average for Connor Hellebuyck. Holy smokes. I need Melvin Barker back in the worst of ways, huh? Let's simulate this game live against the New Jersey Devils. We're 1-3 to start. That's horrible. So let's try to change this up. First period, 0-0. Come on, boys. Let's get some offense. Second period, 2-0. Thank you very much. Ehlers scores on the power play. Kyle Connor scores on even strength. Shots are heavily in our favor as Wyatt Johnson gets 1 against Tristan Jarry. Am I going to have to slow sim every game here? I mean, honestly, I would kind of prefer having a team that does great in the slow sim but horrible in the calendar sim, because obviously when we go to the playoffs, we slow sim every single game. So having a good slow simming team, I will definitely take that. And we outshoot the New Jersey Devils 47-17 in a 3-1 win over them. The 3 stars of the night are Wyatt Johnson, Kyle Connor, and Tristan Jarry stood on his head, but it just wasn't quite enough. All right, next game up against Detroit. Wow, we get to go see Alex Ranford and the Detroit Red Wings. Melvin Barker's fully healed as well, so let me go do these lines. All right, so Melvin Barker is back in there on the first line. I mean, we might as well go in and see the Detroit Red Wings here. They've got Ranford, they've got Larkin, they've got DeBrincat on their first line. Let's go shut these guys down. First period, that's 2-1 for us. Joel Shepard and Matt Svensson score. Bjorkstrand scores on Wallstedt. Second period, now come on, boys. And that's 3-1 for us as Melvin Barker in his return gets another goal for us. So thank you very much there for Melvin Barker. And if I have to go in and slow sim every single game, I won't do it, but I'm quite tempted to, because we are now, well, I don't want to speak to, okay, yeah, we're 3-0 in the slow sim games, and in the calendar sim we are 0-3. So that's a bit concerning here. I'm not gonna lie, that's a bit concerning. But the third period is going to end 5-1, and that's a dominating performance for us in the slow sim. Once again, we got 3 points from Morrissey, 2 for Johnston, 1 for Ehlers, Shepard, Protas, Holloway, Barker, Perfetti, and Svensson. Oof. Nothing from Sam Kennedy, though. I'm a little bit worried about Sam Kennedy, I'm not gonna lie. But so far, we are 3-3. We are even, and Jesper Wallstedt's been injured. Oh my god, I can't catch a break. Okay, so this means our goaltending situation looks pretty weak here. We've got 78 overall Connor Hellebuck, backed up by 78 overall Oskari Salminen. So that's interesting. In the AHL system, I've got to go and throw Robidai in there, a medium French starter goalie. So let's do that. Let's keep simulating some games here in the NHL. Okay, we're going to go back to the calendar sim, perhaps against my better judgment, but I'll get 2 games simulated here. Let's try to get a win here. I want 1 win. That's a loss and then a win. Okay, we get 3 points in those 2 games. That's decent. I will take that, especially when we have our starting goaltender out. Now, against Washington, that's a 7-4 win. Okay, thank you very much, boys. Going on a little bit of a tear here, hopefully. Jesper Wallstedt's fully back. Let's just continue for now, and let's stop the sim, because that's a 3-1 win. Okay. You guys know my superstitious philosophy. We don't stop until we lose a game up against San Jose now after that 7-2 win. Okay, then we lose 3-1, and we'll be seeing Dallas and Chaz Lucius here for game number, what is this, game number 13 of our season. We're currently on top of the Central Division. So let's go, actually no, let me get Wallstedt in there, and then we'll simulate that game. So Wallstedt comes in for Salminen. Boys, I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit worried about Sam Kennedy here. He's got 5 points, but he's a -7. Only 12 games. He's on pace for less than 40 points, excuse me. Nikolai Ehlers here. He's got 6 points in 12 games. He's on pace for 41. Matt Svensson is doing everything he can with 7 goals and 6 assists on this third line for 13 points. I'm not gonna lie, these lines are making me a little bit worried here. The fourth line is doing great. White Johnson especially, 7 points on the fourth line. We'll take that. But this second line is concerning me quite drastically. I'm not gonna lie. Defensively now, Zekrinski's a +5 with Corbin Mills, who's now a -1. Before he was -3 or 5 or something like that. But he's -1 now. He's got a goal, 9 penalty minutes, okay. But he's with Zekrinski, who's doing well. Josh Morrissey has 10 points in 12 games, beautiful. Joel Shepard +2. Aiden Stimpnick's a -4, but he's got a goal and 2 assists, okay. But Sean Walker's a +3, so it's just Aiden Stimpniak not knowing exactly his role, I suppose. I guess we'll just chalk it up to that. But either way, got Jesper Wallstedt in the lineup. Let's go ahead and see Chaz Lucius and the Dallas Stars here. Let's simulate this game. We are in Canada Life Center at home. Let's try to keep our undefeated record in the slow sim going. First period, that's going to go 2-0 to us as Matt Svensson scores twice. Thank you very much, Matt. Can he get the natural hat trick in the third period? 5-0, but Melvin Barker scores with Kyle Connor and Cole Perfetti. So the first 2 lines are doing their thing. Hopefully, Sam Kennedy got something. Elliot Patrick gets another power play goal, and we are dominating the Dallas Stars out here in Jesper Wallstedt's return to the lineup. He could do, oh, hang on the power play, we kill that off. Power play for us now. We don't go anywhere, but I think our power play is clicking at quite a respectable clip, because every time I go into the simulation, it feels like we get a power play goal. And speaking of respectable, there's Jesper Wallstedt getting a 28 save shutout in his return back to the lineup. Thank you very much, Jesper. We love to see that. Now I have to go do the scouting, but I'll be back with you guys shortly. Alright boys, there's 10 minutes of my life that I'll never get back, but either way, we've got a few more games to simulate here. We're getting to the halfway point, slowly but surely. We're atop of the Central Division. We are, what are we? We're like 6th or 7th place in the league. Let's go a couple of games here at a time, try to get some wins under our belt. Elliot Patrick, of course, he's been injured, so I have to go do more micromanaging. Love it. Here we go, Andrew Kopp slots in on the 4th line. Dylan Holloway goes up to the 3rd line. We will see how that performs. I've got to stop the simulation. Okay, I'm getting a bunch of things popping up on my screen. Love it. 2 wins in a row there. Nice. Let's go 2 more games. And we are on a bit of a win streak here. That's 4 in a row now after that win against Nashville. We'll just continue for now. Elliot Patrick's back. But again, my superstition is, you know, I'm a hockey player at heart. The superstition is real. And as soon as we lose that game to the Buffalo Sabres, oh, I should have went in and watched that game. I didn't even realize, because we don't see Buffalo barely at all. Oh, man. That's such a missed opportunity there. But we lose 6-3. This is another time when I wish I could go back and click on the game, look at the box score. Did Gabriel Velarde dominate us in his return back to Winnipeg? Actually, were we in Buffalo? I don't know. Either way, I wish I could. I'm sorry, boys. That's a bad mistake on my part. But either way, we lose that game. Let me get Elliot Patrick back into the lineup. Let's take our look at Sam Kennedy, who's now a -10 with only 7 points. it's not great. Yeah, Matt Svensson again fighting for his life on the second line. What's Nikolai Ehlers? He's got 13 points. Kennedy's the odd man out, man. He really is. This first line is still tearing it up like they always do. Oh my gosh, dude. Kyle Connor has 30 points in 18 games. Holy smokes. Melvin Barker only with 10 points, but he only has 14 games played, of course. Yeah, so okay, maybe do we change it like this? Let's try Matt Svensson on the first line, Melvin Barker on the second line. Maybe that helps. Maybe Kennedy's a bit more of a playmaker, and Melvin Barker on his line will help him out. So let's see this. Kennedy minus 10, Barker 11, Matt Svensson a minus 4. Okay, let's take a look at all their stats after a couple of games played here. I'm talking like 3 or 4 games, and then we will see what their stats are looking like here. I don't want to have to go, 10 games. This is a very, very short experiment here. Let's go watch the Avs game after these 2 games. Protus is fully back, so he just had a minor injury there. There's a 3-1 win over Vegas. Next, Calgary, a 7-3 win over them. The lines are looking pretty good so far. We are like the 4th best team in the NHL up against the Colorado Avalanche, who are 13-5-0. They are 3 points behind us, but they have 2 games in hand. Let's go shut them down real quick. And let's see if we have good success with these new lines now in the slow sim. First period, 2-1 for Colorado. Nathan MacKinnon scores. Kyle Connor ties it up, but then Joel Farabee gets one on Jesper Wallstedt. This was the team that we lost to in the playoffs as well, but they didn't have Nathan MacKinnon. Didn't matter, though, because Thomas Novak turned into Pavel Datsyuk. Second period now, 2-2 as Shane Pinto gets the tying goal on Akira Schmid. Now third period underway. Can Jesper Wallstedt hold off the Avalanche offense? No, he cannot, as Matthias Micheli scores on that power play, but then Cole Perfetti ties us up back at 3s now here late in midway through this third period. Power play goes nowhere for the Avs, and then Zach Werenski on the blue line claps one past Akira Schmid and gives the Winnipeg Jets a 4-3 lead, as the referees desperately want the Colorado Avalanche to win this game as they give them a super long power play, but Zach Werenski is going to score on the shorthanded, and we win that one 5-3 in our slow simulation. We are now like 4-0 on the year into the slow sim. All 3 stars of the night are Winnipeg Jets, and I just turned into a storage locker aficionado there. You know those guys who like call you never seen Storage Wars, and that guy who like says all the numbers, like you know what I'm talking about? Anyways, that's neither here nor there. Any fun games that we can go and watch? We already saw Detroit. I'm looking. Oh, Seattle. That's one that we've got to go watch. Okay. Let's just keep the simulation going here because we are winning with these new lines. So let's see. That's a 3-2 loss and a 4-1 win. Okay, we have points in like 6 straight games or something. 5 straight games. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 straight games. We have points. Edmonton, they're a decent team. Colorado's obviously a good team as well. Let's go another week here. 1 week at a time. That's a 3-1 loss to Edmonton, followed by 2-0 loss to Colorado. Okay, let's stop the sim and let's look at these lines and see what they were doing for us. We went on a bit of a win streak there, but then we followed it up with a little bit of a losing streak. It looks like Kyle Connor has slowed down a little bit with Matt Svensson on his line. Let me see. So, Melvin Barker, he was a plus 11. He's now a plus 10, so he was only minus 1. And Sam Kennedy didn't really get any points. 8 points in 25 games for an 88 overall. Did we make a huge mistake trading away Gabriel Velarde? Yikes. 17 points in 25 games for you. Melvin Barker. Okay, let's go back to these other lines. I feel like they were doing better. Svensson has 25 and 25. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like that was a bad move. I feel like it just stunted everybody's growth. This third line, 11 points in 22 games, 14 points in 25 games. That's fine for Shane Pinto. Philip Tomasino's got 15 points in 25 games. That's actually pretty not bad at all. Alexei Pro, what's his fourth line doing? Minus 5 for Wyatt Johnson, but the rest of his line mates are plus. This is so confusing, man. What about maybe it's defense? Zach Werenski plus 9, Corbin Mills 2 points plus 4. Yikes, only 2 points for Corbin Mills, but that's okay. Josh Morrissey with 26 points in 25 games played, only playing 20 minutes. He's playing 21 minutes tonight. That's actually a lot. Joel Shepard, that was a minus 5. What the heck is going on out here? Aiden Stempniak, I mean, what is going on, dude? I don't understand this. Goaltending, Jesper Wallstedt, 897 save percentage, classic. Connor Hellebuck, though, at 78 overall, has a 919. Makes no sense. All right. Let's just do that little switch there. We switched up We switched up Barker and Svensson. So let's see. I guess Detroit won the cup last year, but they are 11-13-1, the defending Stanley Cup champions. Yikes, that's tough. We're going to go see the Seattle game, so let's just simulate a couple of games at a time here. Let's try to get some wins under our belt with these new lines, as we're on a 4-game losing streak now. Oh man, okay, 4-game losing streak, and where's the wild card spot? It's 29. Yeah, we can't afford to go on a huge losing streak here. Let's go watch this game against the Islanders. I don't like that. I don't like that whatsoever. I don't know why we're losing games here. First period of this Islanders game, 1-0 for us. Kyle Connor scores on Ilya Sorokin. Second period now, 3-1 for us. Sean Walker gets a goal, and Cole Perfetti makes it 3-0. Bo Horvat, though, brings his team to within 2 now in the third period. I don't have to say it because I say it every single time we go into a third period up by 2 goals. We're about to blow this 2-goal lead. I know it. But Melvin Parker gets one past Ilya Sorokin. It's a bad angle, but we will greatly take that goal, and that gives us a little bit of a cushion here as we go. 5 minutes left in the period. 4 minutes, looking good for us, and we stop our 4-game losing streak with a 4-2 win in the slow sim. I believe we're like 5-0 in the slow sim now, and Connor Hellebuck was in the net in that one, so love to see that. Hellebuck still doing his thing in that slow simulation. Now we have a game up against the Vancouver Canucks. Let's see if we can beat them as well. How good is Vancouver? They are a below 500 team, and we win there. Let's try to get some momentum here. Now going up against the Seattle Kraken, who are in the playoffs. They have 37 points in their league. They are 1 point below us with 2 games more played. This is a big one. We're seeing Liam Carlson, who was drafted 5th overall by us, and Corbin Mills is seeing his old team as well. A battle of the young medium elite defenders. Who will come out on top? First period, Seattle takes this period as Kirby Dach scores on Jesper Wallstedt with only, this is like the Oilers last night. Holy cow. They have 4 shots. They have 1 goal to our 13 shots and none. Second period now, boys. Just keep playing like that. We'll win this game. Second period, oh my goodness. And Jesper Wallstedt allows 4 on... what was that? How many shots did they have in the first? I just said it. I don't remember. But 4 goals in the or 3 goals in the second period, and this is not a good game from the Winnipeg Jets. Of course, just the games against them are not the only games that matter, right? Despite the fact that we traded away Liam Carlson, we'll check all those stats midway through this period, or midway through the season as well, and see where everybody is sitting. Did he get any points on us, Liam Carlson? It doesn't look like it, huh? But they had so many people with points. No, Liam Carlson didn't have any points. He was at +1. He played 26.5 minutes, though. Good for him. You know, he gets to see a new home, some more minutes over there in Seattle than was available here in Winnipeg. So nice to see him prospering on his new team. That's a 2-1 loss against San Jose, but then we get back on track with a 3-1 win against Ottawa. How do we look divisionally? 34 points is the wild card. We have 40. Also, divisional matchups, Blackhawks are 11 points behind us, so we have a bit of a cushion to work with, but I'd like to see some games with some wins here on our schedule. 4-2 loss, 1-0 win. Okay. We're going about 500, which is not the end of the world, but again, I'm not exactly liking how we're simulating here recently. The month of December has been a little bit rough. We went on that 4-game losing streak in the early month of December, and then we couldn't really get back on track. 2 wins, 2 losses, 1 win, 1 loss, 1 win. Yeah, so after that 4-game losing streak, we've been about 500. And then a loss to the Colorado Avalanche. Let's start this new month with some new lines, I think. All right, boys, you know what? I've had enough of this. You don't get special treatment on here just because you signed a $6.425 million deal in free agency. You're going down to the 3rd line. Elliot Patrick's coming up to the 1st line, or sorry, the 2nd line. He can play the center position, kind of. How has Sam Kennedy been doing in the faceoff dot? He's been getting more than enough time, and he's not been playing very well. He's 50% in the faceoff dot, so that wasn't a problem. Yeah, you're going to play 3rd line time. I don't care. Elliot Patrick will play in the center. And he'll be with Matt Svensson. So Elliot Patrick and Svensson will be reunited because they were a 3rd line duo in the past. 4th line is I don't know. 4th line is so weird. Wyatt Johnston's -7, but Dylan Holloway's +3 makes no sense. What about back here? Corbin Mills still -1, +5 for Zach Werenski. Josh Morrissey still with 33 points. Joel Shepard -4. So weird, man. They're so like everybody's D partner. Like one D partner is a negative, the other D partner is a positive. It's like they aren't actually playing the same on the same ice time with each other. Look at this. It's so strange. So we have +5 -1, same D pairing. Then second pair +1 -4, same D pairing. Makes no sense. Then third D pairing -5 +5. It's so bizarre, but either way, we'll actually maybe I should make one. Maybe I should make a change. Do we go? Let's bring Corbin Mills down. Let's have him play with Josh Morrissey. See if that can maybe get it going. Get the +5 going on the top line. Yeah, let's go Connor Hellebuck for this next game. And yeah, let's just see if that does the trick here. Let's go and watch it as well. The first game of January. We only have 6 more to go in this this episode here. I think this episode has been a long one with the trades, then going through the off-season, free agency, things like that. This video must be about an hour long. Of course, Jaden Allman is going to score on us, but then Josh Morrissey gets one on Rasmussen, who's their goalie. Second period now. It's 2-2, Pavel Buchnevich, but Kyle Connor ties us up at 2. All right. Even game, shots in our favor, but Jaden Allman gets his second of the night. Jaden Allman loves playing us, man. I wish that I could see Jaden Allman's stats against the Winnipeg Jets because they must be insane. A super long power play. We kill it off, but then they score right after. It's Bergfors scoring on Hellebuck. And the slow sim has let us down here. That makes us like, what are we, like 4-2, 3-2, 5-2, something like that in the slow sim, I believe, this year. It's okay. Elliot Patrick scored late there, but it was not quite enough. 5-4. We had 48 shots, but Jesper Wallstedt allows 5 goals on 29 shots. Jaden Allman scores twice. Elliot Patrick gives us a goal and an assist on the second line. So interesting stuff there. We're on a 2-game losing streak now. Come on, boys. We need wins. I do not like the trajectory that we are currently on right now. Do not like it whatsoever. Let's go 2 games at a time. Up against the Arizona Coyotes. They're a bad team. That's a 7-2 win. Minnesota, it's a 4-3 loss. Okay, we're about 500 so far in February. Not quite, but pretty much. Tampa now, that's a 4-1 win. Okay, now we face 2 games against Chicago. These are actually big games because Chicago's in our division. They're only like 8 points back. The Blues are actually a huge loss. Where's the wildcard spot is 45 points. We have 46. Yeah, so we need a divisional spot, essentially, because these wildcard spots, well, one of them's ahead of us, the Kraken, 49 points. We have 46. The other one is at 45 points. We're at 46, so we're 1 point ahead of that wildcard spot. But in our division, we're 5 points ahead of the Blues. So the Blues, the Blackhawks, and the Wild are all games that are going to be important ones. We lost to the Wild here. We lost to the Blues here. So let's try to take 3 points in these next 2 games against the Chicago Blackhawks here. 1 on the road, 1 at home. That's a 6-3 win followed by a 7-3 win, and we bury the Blackhawks. Those are huge wins. And that was the 50. Oh, that was the 41st game. Now, you know what? No, we got to watch the last game that we simulate. So we're going up against Florida. We'll be 42 games into the season this time. So, you know, the stats will be a little bit off, but I'll just double them anyways because it makes it much more easier for the math wise. First period up against Florida, that's 2-0 for us. Zach Werenski and Elliot Patrick. Elliot Patrick on the second line. I hope he's doing well. Second period now, 5-1 as Matt Svensson and Elliot Patrick gets his hat trick. Matt Svensson broke up the natural hat trick, but then Alexei Protas gets a 5th one for us as Fabian Zetterlund scores 1 for Florida, and the measly Florida Panthers, who are a great team. I think they're like 27-12 or something like that. They have a great record. But it looks like we are going to defeat the mighty Florida Panthers, who are facing the Edmonton Oilers in the real world in the playoffs. That game happened last night for me. For you guys, it would have been 2 nights ago. That was a crazy game. Edmonton somehow held on despite the fact that they had like 10 shots. It was insane. Dallas was all over them, but they couldn't find the back of the net. And Stuart Skinner proved that he can get it done sometimes in the playoffs, man. You gotta give it to Stuart Skinner. And let me know if you guys want to see me do a video about the Stanley Cup Finals, because I was definitely thinking about it, thinking about giving my personal thoughts on the Stanley Cup Finals. I don't often give my thoughts on real world hockey, but I would definitely love to do it if you guys would be interested in it. I'll try to find some highlights, find some stats, things like that, and see what I can do. I know there's a lot of channels that do stuff like that, and they'll do it better than me, but I can, if you guys want to hear a bit of a podcast type thing, I guess this is basically a podcast, right? Pretty much. I mean, it might as well be. But either way, yeah, that type of a vibe could be interesting to some of you guys. Either way, let's get back to the game here. We are 10th place in the entire league. Florida was 3rd, so we just beat them. That's a big win for us. It's going to give us some confidence. Montreal is the 1st place team, so vive la France, although they're not France, obviously. We have a 61.9% points percentage, 3.60 goals for per game. That's great. 2.81 goals against. Our numbers look incredible, man. Less than 3 goals against and over 3.5 goals for. That looks crazy. Power play 26%. That's gotta be high. That's 2nd best power play in the entire league. Okay, what about the penalty kill? Our penalty kill is 87%. Combined, we might have the best special teams in the entire league. That's crazy. At home, we're 11-11, but on the road, we're 14-4-2. We always play so much better on the road, despite the fact that Winnipeg is generally considered a tough place to win games in. I don't know, man. Where are we for like these stats? Goals for per game, we're the 5th best team. Goals for per game, okay, that's good. And then goals against, we are the tied for 3rd best defensive team. So the Oilers are crazy at 3.88 and 2.81. Nuts. They are a great team over there in Edmonton. But yeah, I'm very, very happy with these stats. Last place is Pittsburgh. Oh no, Pittsburgh with Mark Scheifele. They're going to be last. Dallas is 2nd last with Chaz Lucius. Arizona's here. Washington's here. Minnesota. Detroit is like the defending Stanley Cup champions are like 6th last place. That's insane. Oh my goodness. Wow. St. Louis is down here. Boston, Philly. Crazy, crazy stuff. San Jose. Seattle was like 9th best place, right? Okay, so now we'll take a look at our individual stats, and then we will take a look around the league at some of our old friends' individual stats as well. So Kyle Connor's on pace for about 100 points. Love that. 25 goals already, 27 assists. That's huge from him. Josh Morrissey's on pace for like 88. That's insane. That might be a career high from him. Would it be? I think he had a point per game. No, yeah, that would be a career high for Josh Morrissey. Holy smokes. At 35 years of age, he's reinventing his game. He's playing on the 2nd D pairing, but he's having a point per game season. He's also dropped to 89 overall now, but he's still having 44 points in 42 games. Crazy stuff. Next up is Matt Svensson. Look at this 2nd line turnaround. Matt Svensson, he was like a -3, -4. Now he's a +4, so they've been like +8 in the last couple of games here. That's nice to see. Very, very nice to see. 42 points for him. He has 16 goals as well. 26 assists for 42 points. Somebody who does not shoot the puck too much, although he is shooting a bit more than usual, I think. So that's a bit strange. I mean, Matt Svensson last season, I guess he did have a 20-goal season. Yeah, maybe I'm just remembering wrong. But he's on pace for like 200 and something shots. Last year he only had 172. So yeah, I guess he had a 40-point season, a 20-goal season last year. This year he's on pace for a 30-goal season. So love that. Kyle Connor, by the way, on pace for like 50 goals almost. Cole Perfetti, he's on pace for about an 80-point season. He's a +16. Yeah, good player. Solid, doing his thing as our first-line center. We love that. Nikolai Ehlers having a renaissance as well at 34 years old, 87 overall, 34 points, on pace for about 65 or so. Zach Werenski doing decently on that first line, 29 points, 42 games. That's good. Philip Tomasino on the 3rd line is playing great, 26 points. Remember, he was playing most of his time with Elliot Patrick, so maybe these two together are doing good. But look at this. Elliot Patrick was he was minus something. He was a pretty big minus, I think. Now he's only a -1 on the 2nd line. The real test is going to be when we get to Sam Kennedy, though. I'm a bit nervous that we haven't gotten to him already. But 38 games played for Melvin Barker. Only 10 goals, but 29 points. Last year, maybe it's because of his shooting percentage. His shooting percentage only 9.2. Last year it was 14. Yeah, he had a 40-goal season last year. This year it looks like he might come back down to earth a little bit. Maybe more of like a 60-point season for Melvin. No, not even that. Not even that. Maybe a 40-point season for Melvin Barker on the first line. That's a bit concerning. Shane Pinto is here on pace for about a 30-point season. That's great. Sam Kennedy. Oh man, Sam Kennedy's still a -10. He's on pace for about a 34-point season or so. with his 5-star shooting, his offensive awareness. I mean, it's tough. I gave him second line time and he was not producing with it, but maybe he has been playing a bit better with third line time. I think maybe he has been. Wyatt Johnston, 14 points, -3. That's fine for a fourth liner. Alexei Protas on pace for 20. Joel Shepherd, 9 points, +1, playing first line time now with Zach Werenski. Aiden Stempniak's brought his plus-minus back up. Sean Walker's playing amazing at 36 years old, 79 overall, but he's a +10. That's great. Dylan Holloway, 5 points, +4. Corbin Mills, 4 points only for Corbin Mills. I need to see some offensive growth because that's how you get to overall growth in this game. But he's a +6, so I'm not going to complain about him. He's doing his thing. Andrew Kopp came in for 8 games. He had 3 points in 8 games, -2. That's all right. So decent stuff out there from our players. Goaltenders now. Jesper Wallsted's doing fine. He's doing okay. 15, 12, and 1 shutout, 902 save percentage, 2.83 goals against average. Numbers look decent. But Connor Hellebuyck's numbers look great. 8, 4, and 1. 918 save percentage, 2.451 goals against average. So Connor Hellebuyck having a fantastic year, whereas Jesper Wallsted having a decent one. Let's look at all skaters. Let's look around the entire league now. I do like that we're Winnipeg, and I can just change instantly, right? Just go down on my analog stick, and I can see the entire league. That's kind of nice. Draisaitl's in first. He's on pace for like 120 points. Same thing with Mikko Rantanen. McDavid is next. At least we're getting to see some guys who put up these type of numbers in the real world for once. Cole Caulfield, then it's Kyle Connor. Wow, so Kyle Connor having a great season, like the 4th best point producing season. Sean Farrell's up here, Barkov, Pasternak, Matthew Tkachuk, Nick Suzuki. A lot of Montreal Canadiens because they're the best team in the league. Anton Lundell, Mika Zibanejad, Pavel Buchnevich, Nathan McKinnon. Okay, makes sense. We still aren't really seeing that many. Oh, wow. We're not seeing that many created names, but Alex Ranford, on like the 6th worst team in the entire league. He's got 46 points in 42 games. So Ranford, he's doing everything he can to drag this team back to the Stanley Cup playoffs, but it's not really working out too well for them. Kirill Marchenko probably playing with McKinnon, Philip Forsberg, Trevor Zegras, all these guys. Marco Kasper also having a great year in Detroit. Interesting. Looking at defense, it is Josh Morrissey is leading all defensemen with 44 points in 42 games. He's leading. He's ahead of Cale Makar. He's ahead of Adam Falk. He's ahead of Gustav Forsling. All these younger guys. Forsling not that young, but he's ahead of Noah Dobson, right? Like these guys who are in their prime, man. He's ahead of all of them with 44 in 42. Looking at goalies now, we've got Adin Hill leading the way with 27 wins, 918 save percentage, 2.46 goals against average. He's got the Vezina. He's pretty much got the Vezina, guaranteed. Montreal having a great season, and Adin Hill doing his thing. What's his overall, like 84? Yeah, 83 overall. He's going to win the Vezina for sure. Spencer Knight is here having a good record, but bad numbers. Dustin Wolf, fine numbers, pretty average EA numbers. Yeah, Yusei Saros, same kind of a thing, fine. High goals against average, but that's okay. Vitek Vanacek having a fantastic year. What's his overall? Like 82 overall? 81. All right, fair enough. Love it. 82 overall and 83 overall, or sorry, 81 and 83 overall are the best goalies in the league. Interesting. Vasilevsky having a good season. Stuart Skinner having a pretty decent season. Carter Hart wouldn't be in the NHL in the real world. Logan Thompson's doing all right. Igor Shesterkin, Jack Greaves, Vadim Zarenko, Chris Drieger, all these guys down here. Where is Jesper Wallstedt? Is he not getting enough games? Probably not, but he was also injured for a little bit. Let's keep that in mind. Where is Jesper Wallstedt? Hello? Wallstedt, I mean, I wish the game could actually go through the menus fast enough. Did I miss? I must have missed him. He has more than 10 wins, right? Does he not? I don't know. What the heck, man? Game, I wish you could. Yeah, here he is. Jesper Wallstedt. Holy cow. 15, 12, and 2. Or 12 and 1. 1 shutout. 902 save percentage. 2.83 goals against average. All right. So he's in the mix with the decent. I mean, he's got decent wins. I don't know. He's okay. Jet Greaves, of course, our old buddy. 908 save percentage. 3.06 goals against average. I think I like our move. Jet Greaves is making pretty much the same type of money, about 800K less, but he's also like 82 overall. Wallstedt's 86 overall. Yeah, he's making 600K less. I like our move, basically picking up Wallstedt for Greaves. I mean, not actually, but you know. He was the replacement. Rookie skaters, anybody fun in here? Samu Pessinen, medium elite 84 overall sniper with 22 goals, 156 shots already. Crazy stuff. Then it's Jalen Berry, left wing playmaker. Cool. 13 goals, 17 assists, 30 points. After that, Larry Vassanar, third round pick. Wow, he's doing his thing. Stefan Backlund, Magnus Bergfors, St. Louis second round selection. He's doing great. Okay, cool. Nice to see. Rookie goalies, anybody? Not really, but Adam Rasmussen, again, another St. Louis prospect doing good stuff for them. So cool to see. Now, let's go check out our best friends in other places. We're going to start here with Buffalo. They've got Peyton Krebs leading the way, Tage Thompson, Alex Tuck, Matthew Savoie, Dylan Cousins, Rasmus Dahlin, and then Gabriel Velarde. So, say what you want, boys. They got rid of Sam Kennedy, who has 17 points in 42 games for Gabriel Velarde, who has 30 points in 44 games. Also keep in mind that I'm not sure if they're going to be in the AHL. I think they will be, but let me just check real quick. They also picked up, let me just go to defenseman. It'll be faster. Yeah, they also have Gail Crabb, who's a +3, 4 points. He's also a 73 overall now. And Brody DeMarchi, 5 points, 72 overall medium elite players in their system. So that trade, I'm not going to say it's a bad trade for us yet. We don't know if Sam Kennedy is going to break out or anything in the next couple of years, but for this season at least, looks great for the Buffalo Sabres. Next up, Dallas here. They don't have a single player above point per game, which is a bit frustrating for them. Chaz Lucius basically doing the same thing that he did last year, 21 points in 42 games, on pace for about 40 points. Pretty much the same thing that he had last season. Now we're here in Seattle. They also have nobody above point per game, but they are a fantastic team. They've got Sean Dursey with 33 points in 44 games. Insane stuff. He's playing with Liam Carlson. Shea Theodore, 24 points. So where's Liam Carlson at? Liam Carlson, he's not producing crazily. He was injured for 6 games. He has 11 points in 38 games, though. What's that pace? That's he's also up to an 83 overall from 80 at the start of this, or maybe he was 81 at the start of the season. He's playing 25 minutes a night. That's on pace for a career, on pace for about 20 or so points, 23, 24 points, something like that. So on pace for a career year, only an 83 overall. We will see obviously at the end of the year what he ends up at, but interesting stuff. What is Corbin Mill? Wait, is his name Corbin Mills, right? What's his name? I'm going insane. Corbin Mills. Yeah, Corbin Mills. He's on pace for 8 points though, compared to Carlson's 20 points. Again, Mills +6. I don't remember what Carlson was, but either way, we will look at their stats obviously at the end of the season. Now, the last thing that we have to go do is take a look around the entire league and see what's available. So what do we need first of all? As crazy as this is to say, I think we might need another second line center. As crazy as that is, Sam Kennedy, he's got 33 penalty minutes, -10. He's got 17 points. Elliot Patrick's not a second line center. He does have 17 goals in 38 games, on pace for about 40 goals in a full 82 game season, which is great. But he's an 83 overall as our second line center. We could go Tomasino up there, I suppose, but Patrick's okay for now. Maybe we need a second line center. Other than that, I could see us, I don't know, maybe just some depth guys in case of injuries. I mean, our depth does not look great, 79, 78, 78, right? It doesn't look insane. Defensively, we look fine, I think. Stempniak hasn't grown yet. He's got 8 points, though, 0. Sean Walker is doing incredible things. Corbin Mills is doing decently. So same thing. Josh Morrissey's playing amazing, career year. Joel Shepard's doing all right. So is Zach Werenski. I don't really know what we need. Maybe an extra goalie just in case Jesper Wallstedt doesn't get it done for us in the playoffs. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what we need, but I will go take a look at the trade blocks around the league anyways. Maybe you guys have a better idea of our needs in the comments. So who is available here in Anaheim? They still have Jimmy Drysdale, Jack Quinn. I mean, they have their entire roster on the block, even though they're a positive or they're a good team. Makes no sense. Arizona, Hendrix Lapierre and Jonathan Berggren. All right. Boston, some prospects. Buffalo prospects. Calgary prospects. All these guys. Nobody wants to give away good players. Andrei Kuzmenko out here in Chicago. Crazy contract. No thank you. Columbus, they've got Ken Johnson, insane contract. Patrick Laine, crazy contract. Troy Terry, crazy contract. Johnny Gaudreau, crazy contract. So Nobody there. Dallas doesn't have anybody really. Same thing at Detroit. Nugent Hopkins is here in Edmonton. Maybe we could pick up Nugent Hopkins for some depth. He's -5 and 9 points in 43 games, playing fourth line time. Yeah, he's okay. Florida, nothing. LA, they've got Quinton Byfield on a great deal. That could be a second line center for us, but who are we trading away? Are we trading away Sam Kennedy, who we just signed? It doesn't really make any sense. Why would we want to do that? Kevin Fiala, insane contract, same thing, PLD, so nothing really there other than Quinton Byfield. Out here in Minnesota, these guys are all on insane deals. Klim Kostin could be a good fourth liner for us. He's a power forward as well, so we could keep going with that theme. That's something. Montreal, they've got Lehkonen, insane contract, and they've got some depth here, so maybe Montreal's the place. Nashville, no thank you. New Jersey, yeah, they have some depth pieces here. They've got Sam Steele, they've got Scott Lawton, so maybe New Jersey's a place for us. The Rangers, not really anything. Ottawa, nothing. Philly, Kasperi Kapanen, but that's kind of a lot of value for Kasperi Kapanen. Maybe a Max Domi, but that's a lot of money. Yeah, maybe not. Pittsburgh, they've got William Karlsson. That could be a great fourth line center for us. Yessi Puya Harvey, nah, -15, no thank you. Okay, San Jose, they've got nothing. Seattle, they've got Rasmus Kupari. We could bring him back to Winnipeg. That could be fun. St. Louis, nope. Yeah, Gabriel Fortier, two-way forward. Nah, I don't like those stats. Okay, Tampa, they've got big names out here in Tampa, but big contracts as well, right? Nikita Kucherov, but he's $10 million. We can't get that kind of money on this team. A lot of names out here in Tampa. Holy smokes, Trevor Moore, insane contract. Yeah, a lot of names out here in Tampa. That's crazy. Toronto now, some depth players. Vancouver with some prospects. Vegas, Lucas Reichel in Vegas. Philip Zadina. Kempe, a big contract. But again, these guys down here, they could be something. Some depth players for sure. And then Washington with nobody. So that does it for the blocks. There's some interesting names out there. There's some depth players. There's some, 84, 85 overall type guys. But we are 25, 15, and 2 on pace for a 50-win season here, guys, in this one. So let me know what you think of the lines, what you thought of the insane moves. This was the craziest trades in franchise history, at least since I've been here. So let me know what you thought about them. Big shout out to all you guys for getting us close to that 150 subscriber mark. If we could get there, that would be super fun, right? That would be really fun. If you liked the video, give it a like, comment, and subscribe. You guys know what to do. You've been on YouTube for long enough, and I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. New videos come out Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, everybody.